Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the documentary Maria by Callas. And I've gone through this year seeing quite a few documentaries at this point, a lot more than I usually do. I've never been somebody who goes out to the theater to go see documentaries, and this year there's been a couple that has come out that I got really excited about and wanted to go check out, like One Should Be My Neighbor, Through Identical Strangers. I did miss the Ruth Bader Ginsburg one, which I kind of regret at this point. Hopefully I'll get to watch that before Oscar season, and this year I could actually make a judgment on documentary film. But I saw this documentary, which is about a famous opera singer, Maria Callas, and it was directed by Tom Wolfe. And this one definitely wasn't on the same level as the other ones that I saw this year, but I did enjoy it for the most part. This film doesn't really do anything but besides just piecing together actual footage of Maria Callas, either in interviews or performances, and there are a lot of performance pieces in this film, so it does give you a lot of her body of work. So a lot of it is kind of like a concert film. You hear a lot of her opera music. If you're obviously not into that, that might turn you away. But the thing is, if you're going to see a movie documenting the life of an opera singer, I'm going to go out on a limb and probably say that you would not be adverse to listening to opera music. So, like, I don't regularly listen to opera music, but I was willing to give it a chance. It seemed like a very interesting story, and she's a very intriguing human being. She was a very intriguing human being. And she was pretty sassy, and during some of those interview pieces she had a lot of interesting things to say, and that was definitely the big driving force for me in this film, were the sequences where you got to listen to her and what she had to say and the different kinds of things that she thought about life and her interactions with people and her relationship especially with Aristotle Onassis, which was a big part of this film, and their relationship, their interactions. And this wasn't a perfect film. I think this pushed really long. Most of the documentaries I saw this year were like an hour and a half or a little less. This was an hour and 53 minutes and felt it. It felt long, and there's parts that really felt like it dragged. And to be perfectly honest, the film felt repetitive. It kept going, kept doing the same kind of thing. And after a while, it's like, I've seen enough of this. I don't really need to see any more of this, but it just keeps going for almost 2 hours. So you have to really be strongly invested in this woman and the story for you to really feel like you were really getting a lot out of it all the way through the 2 hour runtime of this film. The pacing's a little off, and I feel like that's because of the repetitiveness of what's going on, because you don't really get a fresh perspective a whole lot. It's just her talking, her singing, her talking, her singing, and over again. But the thing is, she is interesting enough, and obviously her body of work is strong enough for you to be interested and invested at least a little bit through most of this film, and despite the fact that it does get repetitive after a while. And I would recommend this. I think she's a very interesting person. If you're definitely not into like opera and stuff like that, don't go to see this. You'll probably be put off, not only because there's a lot of opera scenes which take up a decent chunk, but the film's also long in terms of comparatively to some of the other documentaries that came out this year. I feel like this film is worth seeing. She is definitely a very interesting woman, a very powerful woman, and had a very different kind of perspective on things, especially for a woman in the time where she was living. And I feel like she's a very interesting case to have made a documentary on, so I'm not surprised that Tom Wolfe did. And I would recommend this to those that are big cinephiles who enjoy documentaries, or who, if you were a big fan of hers, you'd probably eat this up, because it's her. It's all her. It's structured that way, and it's made for those who really want to dig into her. So let me know what you think, and thank you as always for checking in with your Wasteland reviewer.